Hello, 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 and welcome to 2026 Explain It podcast. I am your host, Ingryd Hernandez. We have an amazing guest today, a good friend of mine. Love him honestly. But before we get there, we have a couple of administrative things we all need to do. I want to remind everyone that next week I am doing a fractional raise, and you're invited to come to the Zoom to learn about how you can take advantage of what we're doing out here in Arizona. We're buying businesses. Would love to have all of you kind of learn and earn while you're working through these or while we're working through these amazing deals. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once, which is also copy the Zoom link in case any of you are interested in coming to the launch that's happening on January 13th. And I will say this, we have over 200 people registered and only 99 people can be in this club. So it's important for you to come, join, find out what we have to offer, and see if whether or not it's a fit for you. So we're super excited on how we're doing this raise. And so we're excited how we're going to partner with other active investors out here in Arizona. And also, while I have all of you, creativelisting.com, where I am a co-founder of creativelisting.com, we have now crossed over 50,000 users. And 75% of those users are buyers. So I'm telling you, you got to go to creativelisting.com and leverage that to do deals, to do wholesaling. We're going to talk a little bit about it maybe with Jonah, and how if you're in the creative or cash space, go leverage that tool while it's still free. Now, my job will be to monetize that bad boy. But first, I want to make sure it's giving you all the value you possibly can get. So 2 things. Join the Zoom link, which is the Zoom, which I've put on the chat for all of you. Or if you don't get it, just DM me on Instagram, ask me for the fractional Zoom. And then secondly, go sign up for creativelisting.com. All right. Without further ado, we have the incomparable, the amazing Mr. Jonah Korchin.
Woo!
I need those little buttons that say like,
You need
hey.
the sound effects. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to add. You can definitely add sound effects to StreamYard and have a go. So
Yeah. Super duper. All right. Tell me, Jonah, we haven't actually really talked in a while. You were on the podcast not too long ago, but tell me.
quite a while ago. I feel
Yeah.
like a year or two ago. I think it's been a while.
You know what I'm thinking about is when we were talking about CRM stuff with Bobby. I think that's where
Yeah.
I
Well,
yeah,
okay.
I'll
That was
tumble
just
it.
us. Yeah, that wasn't that long ago. But
Yeah.
last time I was on I don't even know if this is the same podcast. The last podcast I was on, Caroline was co-host.
Yeah, it
So
was a long time ago.
I
It was
think
the same
that's a different
podcast, just a
podcast.
different version. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
So
Caroline. That she has put her nose that I would say if you guys are trying to figure out why aren't things working out for you, take it from Caroline Kane. She looked at her calendar of events, she looked at all her commitments, and she contracted. She's like, what can I say no to? And that included doing this podcast with me. And so my feelings were not hurt because it wasn't about me, it was about Caroline. It was about how is she going to focus and be the best business owner, gyrating those deals, helping families out. And at the end of the day, focusing on her business was a priority. And I commend her for it. So, oh, look at that. Jonah in the building. Yo, Jonah, what's up? Luke saying hi.
oh my
Um,
God. So happy to be here.
and then why does it say, are you gay? We've had this conversation.
Oh, that's hilarious. Who said that?
Bluey and Bingo,
Oh
I
my
guess.
God.
I don't
No,
know. Must be
not
some good
gay.
friends of
I
yours.
have a
Okay.
I have a date right after this, so not gay.
Ooh, where are you going?
I accidentally made this date so good, Ingrid, very
Mm.
accidentally. So I chose a tea place. I thought it was just a tea place. It's actually like a tea time place that does a whole thing for like tea time. Like, you know how the British do it?
Yes.
So I'm about to knock her socks off. So,
There we go. Where they
you know,
have like they come with the little like cucumber
100.
sandwiches or the whatever else, and it's got like layers of things to pick.
Yes,
And
like all
so
that stuff.
growing up, I had sort of a tumultuous experience growing up, but one of my safety nets was this lady named Grandma Ripley, and Grandma Ripley would have dates or tea dates with us, right? Like myself, my sister, my brother, I think was too little. And she would have us, and like we'd have to learn our manners. Don't put your elbows on the table,
Mm,
pinkies up, drink our tea. It was, I loved it. I loved it so much.
hell yeah.
Luke saying, "Are you having a date with an
Luke
AI bot you
Luke
built?"
is just like a Luke is my guy, and he's been trying to get the AI bot info out of me,
Mm,
and you're now never getting it, Luke. So hope you love that, you know? No, I'm just kidding. No, definitely not an AI bot.
no.
Um, no. So, but yeah,
So talk us
so
through,
not yet.
Jonah. So the last time you and I like really spent time with each other, I would say was what like a few years ago when we were in Florida.
That's the last time we hung out
And
for a long time.
like, yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been around each other a few times since,
Yeah,
but
we've
that
seen
was
each
like
other.
where I
We're
would
like,
say
no,
the
no.
most meaningful time.
Yeah.
And then you had some changes in like your partnerships, which by the way, guys, it happens. It happens. And then what? Like tell us like what's Jonah up to now?
Wow. I mean, there's a lot to update you on for sure. I mean, especially since then. I mean, I used to have a business partner. His name was Tyler. Great guy, doing his own thing now. Um, Now, I mean, like there's a lot of different things happening, but like
Mhm,
there's what I've been known for from social media and just everything, which is wholesaling. That's like been like my bread and butter from the very beginning. It's still probably the main way that I make money, right?
mhm,
Still have
mhm,
my own wholesaling company. It's a team of like 7 now. So that's always still fun. That's always still making money. And then last year and a little bit of this year was a lot of exploring, right? Like wholesaling can only get you so far, right?
mhm,
You can
mhm,
get it to like million to maybe even 2 million a year. And I know some people in the top 0.01% who can even make it more than that. You're
mhm.
never going to make it 100 million, right? It's just not a
No.
business model that can get even close to that. I know
Mhm.
very few who can even get to 10 million in that, right? Um,
Absolutely. Mhm,
so to me, wholesaling is kind of like I treat it more like my day job now. A day job that pays me a ton of money, right? More than any other
mhm,
day job I would ever
mhm,
pay me. But at the
mhm,
same time, it's not like it won't be the thing that makes me rich, in my
mhm,
opinion. So last year was a lot of exploring, just kind of finding like what I like versus what I don't like, right?
mhm.
Because I'm not a fan of flipping. I know you like flipping more. I
Yeah,
think
then we
flipping,
need some updating to do too.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I have 2 flips and I'm just like this is so unnecessarily stressful for me,
Mhm,
right? I don't like it.
mhm,
Um, and then uh owning long-term rentals is whatever also, like at least single family, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
like I'm at the point where it's either like, okay, there's really 3 ways I've ever made money in business.
mhm,
One is wholesaling, one is lending. I like lending. Lending is solid every once in a while. Um, and 3 is technology companies. So we've talked about my CRM company. We actually had a recent Zoom about that. That's the most recent time we talked. I've had
right.
this CRM company for about 3 years now. Super cool, does not take an insane amount of time, and it's very good reoccurring revenue. And I
Mhm,
like it because it's like much more cool and more interesting. Is like tech solutions for real estate investors, right?
mm,
So
mhm,
there are 4 things happening that I'm still doing. One is a little bit of flipping, wholesaling. I mean, I own some rentals. I have my CRM company, and then also the coolest thing that's been really recent, less than I think it's like a month old, is my AI implementation company, which
mm,
is specifically designed to replace virtual assistants. So it's basically how I call it as an AI hiring agency, right?
mhm,
That we got our first client last month, and it's super cool. That is what excites me right now, right?
mhm,
It has
mhm.
made me the least amount of money, but it excites me the most. Um,
Right.
partially because it's a new company, partially because it's AI. But that's my life business wise. Because honestly, like wholesaling's pretty darn stabilized. I need like one or two more really good hires, and that could be something that just generates 10 to 20 grand without me doing much to me after taxes, right?
Mhm.
And then and then I really am focusing on AI business, while the other two are just kind of things I throw in every once in
Mhm.
a while. Like if I see a good deal, I'll buy a single family, but I don't like it. Neither, same with flipping.
So interesting. I also had a very, I'll call it exploratory year. I was going to go ham on flipping, and maybe by the grace of God, I was redirected. Where my partnership relationship didn't stay intact despite, all the investing into the connections and stuff that we had done. Um, they wanted to go a different route, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll have to figure something else out, right? Because in my brain, I was like, we're going to go ham. And then having to rescue a couple of flips that were mismanaged. And so that added an additional line of stress. And so that sucked. But I'm super proud of like being able to get through it. Like during it, I'm sure I was super victim mentality, but now that things are going to start, well, one was cleared out. Like I sold it this past summer, where I was supposed to have like a 50 or $60,000 loss on that. And then I like basically broke even. And after
That's a
buying back,
win.
a huge win. Yeah, I bought it back. I freaking did everything I could to just like I would say this one of the secret sauces to flipping is pre-marketing, and not enough people do that. Like if you have
Yeah.
a property that you're flipping, you should be putting tons of content out and asking people, would you want to buy this, right? I was texting agents. I was like putting it all out there as much as I possibly can without the property coming to complete, like the flipping being done. And that's how I found an agent who brought me a buyer.
Hmm.
Um, and so I was able to sell it, sold it at a really yeah, at $30,000 more than we had underwrote it to. So that's how I was able to basically, like if we had done the original number, obviously I would have still lost money, but not at the level that I was supposed to lose. But no, I was able to walk away essentially breaking even. And then I have this other deal that we're selling creatively. So I'm refinancing it under just my name. And then I found a creative buyer who's going to give us a down payment, and just I'm
Nice.
doing a wraparound mortgage. Now, it feels like a big loss right now because a lot of that money is trapped. But if I can wait it out, at least 5, 7 years, I will actually make up a lot of that loss back.
Well,
So,
here's what I hate about flipping. That's truly like a why I think it's, and excuse
mhm.
me if there's a flipper on here watching, but
Yeah.
here's why I hate this business model is
Mhm.
I hate business models where you can do everything right and still get screwed, right? That
1,000%.
sucks. That's a
That sucks.
terrible business model. I
Yeah.
want a business model where if I do everything right, I get absolutely loaded. So no, that's anyways. I'm gonna do like a
That is
flip here.
yeah. I that's a very fair thing to say. I would also argue, though, that the reason flipping is an easier model is for those people who are just getting started into wanting to run a business. And it's just like one that, like, literally your own elbow grease can help you get to the end. It's not complicated, it's
Yeah.
just not. And
Yeah.
so when you talk about buying a business, running a business, like it can get complicated quickly. Um, but to your point, I genuinely believe business buying, and this is what I'm starting to, so, now you're up to speed. Like now I'm focused on buying businesses, and
Nice.
I've partnered up with an operator who's had over 25 years of experience buying and running businesses and being able to refinance them or exit them, like sell them, to the tune of being able to provide the investors that he dealt with in the past with really amazing returns. And, you know, knock on wood, every time I say this, like, he's never lost any of his investors' money, you know? And so, I mean, I can also say that too. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have not
Yeah.
money, but it does tell you kind of where, like, the values are, right? Like, by and large, we prioritize our relationships with our private money lenders because those are the folks that matter the absolute most.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, like, in the end, if you start burning lenders, it's just everything in your business starts crumbling. Not
Totally.
even for wholesaling, like, right?
Mhm.
Because it's a reputational damage, right? And
Correct.
I don't think
Mhm.
there's anything worse than reputational damage, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think everything else can be recovered. I don't know if that can be recovered.
Yeah.
Um, I have no idea, but I mean, it's a common thing, right? Like, I mean, you and I have been in sub 2 long enough to know, like, tons
5-year
of people.
anniversary this month, actually.
Really?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love it.
Mhm.
Um, so but I know you've seen people come in and out, like,
Yeah.
who raised a ton of money, kinda screwed over
Mhm.
their investors. I think people think they're bad people. They're not bad people. They underwrote a ton of deals.
Yeah.
And for some people, they just got screwed
Yeah.
by
A contractor can
market
kill you, by
conditions.
the way.
Yeah.
Market conditions and contractors can totally take you out,
Oh my god.
1,000%. And I would argue that is probably the bulk of the bad deals we're seeing now, more than the person was a fraud, right? It's the economy, the mar and actually, we had this conversation today because I do virtual office hours for sub 2, so people can bring in their questions, and that was one of the things I said. I was like, "Guys, if you're lending to people, that jockey matters more than the deal, because even a great deal could be really mismanaged by the person with inexperience or who does not put enough time and effort into making that deal work." And, you know, I would say that's why the jockey matters the most. And one of the things that I was telling people during that office hour is like, how good are they qualified? Like, if you need to make your money back, will taking the property back be enough? So it's a loan to own situation. Sometimes that's okay too. Or are you going to be able to are you going to be able to go get your money back from the assets that they have? Like, I'll be very honest, like this Flagstaff house that we were finally able to kind of come up to with a solution, I'm using another asset to make work. And if I didn't have that other asset, I would be in a really tight spot. I would have to have something to figure out like, okay,
Yeah.
how do I make this person whole for this private money that I wouldn't have any other way? And I think that's why it's important that if you're going to lend to someone, understand the make. And it's okay if you're lending to an inexperienced person, but they better have a partner who is experienced. They better have some other way to make up for that. Like, you should be very like, nobody's going to care about your money more than you. And if you're not using some of this due diligence to figure that out, then honestly, it's your fault you're losing money.
Yeah. I mean, I learned this from Marco, who's a good friend of both of ours,
What's
right?
up, Marco?
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great private money lender. He taught me a
Mhm,
lot. There's
mhm,
really 3 types of collateral, right? One is the collateral you think of, the
mhm,
house, right?
mhm.
The deal itself. Is the deal actually have any collateral for you? Because
Yep.
not because real estate is not infinitely valuable. So you have to like be like, am I actually protected by the house? The next one is collateral of reputation. Like, does this person have something to lose if I put them on blast? Or would they
Mm,
just be a nobody that nobody knows anyways? And
yeah.
then 3 is just the collateral of the person, right? Like, not his reputation, but his experience.
Perfect.
Like, if they're a good person and want to pay you back in general, right?
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
there are some actually bad actors. It's
Yeah,
rare. I actually find that rare. I think it's
yeah.
usually more incompetence than malevolence, but
Mhm.
um
Damn it, I love good word usage. Good job. Yeah.
so
I love a
there you
good vocabulary. Right on. Okay, Jonah, you
go.
already have somebody, Mr. Andrew Haas, 23, asking, Jonah, any ideas when you're doing a webinar for AI employees?
I'd probably do that at the honestly, I'm getting so much demand for this right now that like
Mhm.
I'm a little bit my partner who actually creates the bots is a tiny bit overwhelmed. So like
Mhm.
I don't even really have a need to right now because like right now like we're doing is we're eventually the sticker price for one of these bots is going to be $10,000 and then plus 500 a month, which sounds like a lot of money. But if you actually are replacing VAs, it's about even with how much a VA will cost you for 1 year, and you
Right.
won't have to train them or anything like that. But we're like going half priced right now, so it's like 5,250 a month. And so anybody who's like actually wants a bot, it's been a pretty damn easy sell, right? And so I don't even need to do a webinar yet, right? And
Mhm.
honestly, this company is a month old, and I was just in Argentina and San Francisco. So we have like nothing. Like I like Ingrid was kind of annoyed. I was like, oh, you should get an affiliate link. It's like, Ingrid, I don't even anywhere to put the leads yet. We just got the high level account. The LLC EIN came in like a week ago or a week and a half ago. So it's like one of those things where I'm like
Well,
running while
while you're building the plane.
yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
let me ask you a question because, despite the fact that I have a lot of visionary tendencies, I'm actually more of an operator, more of like
Mhm.
executor, like, let's check those boxes. I'm not the most organized person, but I know that, like, in my corporate experience, I would just delegate oversight and, like, making sure people got it done, but ultimately, I was the throat to choke, right? Like,
Mhm.
making sure everybody's doing the part they said they were gonna do. Okay. All that to say is this then theoretical still, this AI bot, or
No,
have you put it through this?
we've signed up one client fully. Like he's fully
Mhm.
gone. The bot is fully trained for them. It's
Yeah.
operating.
Mhm.
I could eventually share my screen if we really want to get into it.
Let's
But
let's go
that is
ham. Mhm.
but we have one client who's fully operating. I've got like 4 Zooms just this week with people who are interested in it. So it's not theoretical. We've already sold one and it's operating in their business, generating, it's like a direct to agent lead generator, and it's generated um, 30 leads in like 2 weeks. And it could have generated way more. It generated only that because it was Christmas. He literally like just turned it on. So
Yeah.
it's exciting stuff. It's really cool, right? Like I'm just excited about it. We're right now mid implementing it into my own business, right?
Mhm.
Because I basically found my partner who can do this, and then immediately I already had someone who was asking me about it anyways
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
wanted this. So we just
Mhm.
closed him, and then so we're implementing in my business now, and there's gonna be a lot of demos off of that. And then yeah, and then I have like 2 meetings set up this week, 2 next week. Because yeah, no, I'm trying to sell the hell out of it. So anybody who wants that, right? And the reason why it's because and also the reason why it's half off right now is because literally don't even have a CRM yet. So like a lot of it is like bit of beta testing. It's a bit slower than like what it will be, right? So you'd be
Mhm.
getting on the ground floor of something, which is the cool
Yeah.
part, right?
Yeah.
Like it definitely
Mhm.
works, but also like it's just not everything is perfected with like a website and like we're literally a month old. So we
Mhm.
have like a
Mhm.
basic website right now, but no, it's just really exciting. I'm really happy about it. But there will probably be a webinar. Andrew, if you follow me on my content is all going to AI. It's going to AI, real estate. That's like my huge brand pivot. You're going to see a lot more this year is I'm just going to be
Mhm.
talking about AI concepts. Um, because this is the company that I'm really like most excited about.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Do you wanna walk us through something that would at least
Yeah,
illuminate
why
what your
not?
focus is?
Give
Okay.
me let's answer one more question. I'll bring it up while because it'll take me a moment to load,
Sure,
and
sure.
then I can answer. We can like go through other stuff while I'm bringing that up.
So, yeah, so
Um,
Peter was asking, well, I don't know if he was asking. It's more of like, I'm curious, like what that conversion rate to a live VA would look like. I will say I just hired my very first VA, and then um, I feel like I'm a pretty good identifier of talent. And when I was trying to find my executive assistant, that's what EA stands for, I found another gal who had a lot of TC background and in transaction coordinating and ops management for an investor who used to do business nationwide. And they decided to kind of like hang their hat. So she didn't have another role to take. Like they basically didn't, they stopped buying houses. And so she's like, okay, well, I when I was interviewing her, I was like, "Holy cow, like, you have all of that experience?" So then I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hire you too." So I was looking for one person, but it was like she had too much good experience to not hire her too. And one of my experiences so far doing our creative wholesaling business is that the TC is such a big cost. It's such a big cost for our buyers, and I have no control.
Hmm.
So we're like, we need to in-house a TC because there's some things that, like, if you're a good wholesaler doing creative finance, but like you actually care that the seller's protected, you actually care that the buyer understands what they're getting into, all of those things, it's really hard to delegate out like a TC process, because even when we had other TCs, I was probably still that annoying person to be like, "Hey, do they understand the service agreement? Do they understand, like, they're gonna get deducted from on their monthly payments? Do they understand that," like, all these things. And I was like, "You know what? I'd rather control those factors." Um, so we're excited to onboard her to really manage and maintain that part of our transaction so that we will actually close more deals.
No, it makes sense. I mean, that's also I'm mostly cash, and that's like creative is hard with that. Like honestly, because like cash TC is really easy to outsource, right? That is
Mhm,
not complicated whatsoever. But
mhm,
creative TCing is definitely complicated. To answer Peter's question, it's better. Like it's not. Remember, this is a lead generator. So when you say conversion rate, that sounds more like a closer
closer, mhm,
statistic, right? This isn't a closer. So let me like real quick, I'll explain like what it actually is, right?
mhm.
So there are 4 bots we sell. And when you think of bots, think of like literally employees in your business, right? My head, it's an AI staffing agency. It's meant to replace a actual employee in your business. So there are
Mhm,
4 of them, right? One is a direct to agent lead generator, is what I call it. They scrape websites for agents. They look on PropStream, all the places they find agents. They get all their info. They get into an Excel file. They upload it to the CRM. They start a campaign for you, right? And then they respond, set up an appointment for you, and that's what it does, right? It's a lead generator. Then we have one that's the exact same thing but direct to seller, right? Um, Basically does the same thing. That
mhm,
one, because you need to skip trace it, it'll scrape it like from PropStream or whatever you want it to, but then it'll submit it for skip tracing, but you have to like tell it where to submit the skip tracing, right? And then you get it back, you upload it, you do whatever campaign you were planning on doing, it'll start doing it, and then it'll respond and set up an appointment, right? They're
mhm,
appointment setters, those
mhm,
2 bots, right? Depending on what your business style is. Then the third one is a buyer finder, right? A bot that just finds buyers for you all day, verified cash buyers. And then the fourth one is an underwriting bot, which basically you put in an address, it comps it, it spits out an actual buy number,
Okay,
right?
let's pause for a
Um,
moment because somebody on Instagram named JPG, and I've done deals with him, I believe, was asking about, does anybody or has anybody done a bot that does underwriting, use AI for running comps and stuff for fix and flips and rentals? So my assumption is like underwriting.
yes.
So this is now I'm intrigued because the other stuff I feel like, honestly, guys, it's scripts. You do scripts. You it's like who can do the volume, you'll get the numbers. The underwriting piece, I think that's a little complicated. And I actually know of another AI company who does underwriting for self-storage, and that's complicated because it has to look at all the P&Ls. It has
Right.
to look at, and if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I'll connect you guys. But it has to go through a much more rigorous review of the business more than like the property. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the underwriting bot is actually less complicated than the other ones, because you're not needing to respond to anybody, right? That I
Yeah.
think is actually where it gets
It's
really
math.
complicated.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic. I mean, you comping is a formula in the end, right? All
Yeah,
you're
but look
doing is
at Zillow.
applying a bunch
Zillow's
of.
wrong all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so it will depend on a couple things, right? Like if you're in a market where you have to give it good data. So let me explain. Like if Zillow's bad in your market, then you need to be like, how are you? You have to instruct it or tell us, okay, you wanted to get it from the MLS, right? Or whatever, right? You just have to inform us. As long as you have a place to get good data, all it is
Yeah.
applying a list of rules, right? Which
Yeah.
honestly computers are really good at, let alone AI. So
Mhm.
I'm actually Luke's on here. He's been begging me, or not begging. I don't want to. Honestly, begging. He was messing around with me earlier. But for this YouTube video where I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you how to not do the full bot, but how to create just a comping bot, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's literally just ChatGPT, right? That
So
part.
I worked with
That's not even
data
complicated.
scientists, right? Like my corporate background, like data scientist, business analyst, or BI analyst, if you want to think about it, business insights. And machine learning is technically what we are maybe incorrectly calling AI sometimes, by the way. Um, and because AI implies that the intelligence of it is it learns from its mistakes or it learns how to get better. Machine learning has an element of that, but it really still requires human oversight. So I'm just really curious, like how it differentiates and how is there a confidence score as a part of it? Like, I'll give you an example. My tool, which confidence scores, in my opinion, also lean more machine learning, but there is a tool for agents called RPR. I freaking love it. Not everybody loves it. I love it in Arizona because Arizona has so much data points, like it has a lot of activity that so long as in your if you're in the main county where a lot of this activity happens, the data it provides is still pretty good. So if I'm an agent and I'm going to go list a house, it tells me what this if this property is an average looking house, if they've not pizzazzed it, here's what your likely listing amount would look like. And it's usually pretty fairly close as long as the confidence score is good. So the confidence score has to be 4 out of 5 stars. 3 stars or less, I know there's just not enough activity in that area that the RPR feels good about what they're presenting back. So I'm curious, like what built in.
That's definitely in there. I mean, that has to be in there with comping, right? If I
Mm-hmm,
give you a house in the middle of the desert, I don't care what AI you give it, it's not a comparable house, right? There are
mm-hmm,
certain houses where it's actually like almost impossible to find the value of. So no, it's gonna spit out the comps it used. So
mm-hmm,
with like basic data on there, so you can see like, okay, did it do it well? That's one. And then two, it also says something like, I feel semi confident about this, or I feel very, very confident about this, right? It gives you something that's very similar to what you're talking about, where it's like,
mm-hmm.
look, like this, I feel very confident about this. This looks like it, these comps look like they're in great condition. They're right next to it. They're
Right.
similar year builds, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, and it'll tell you if it's like, look, like I found some comps, but there are some issues with these
mm-hmm,
comps.
mm-hmm.
Like, because like if it what it'll also do is if it's like a rural property, that's when it usually gives this answer. It'll give an
Yeah.
answer of like, there's just straight up not enough data to be 100% certain.
Yeah.
Here's my best guess. And then they give you like an estimated guess. And honestly, the estimated guess is usually around probably what I'd guess, or I look at it, I'm like, I have no idea, honestly, right? Like sometimes I don't know, right? And I've been comping
Yeah,
for 5 or 6 years, right? So,
bro.
um,
I was doing a refinance on a property in Ohio, and this triplex is in a city where there's no other multifamily or small multifamily. And this
mhm,
triplex, like the appraiser, had to go 15 miles out. But he chose a neighborhood that is like, I'll say, not as economically comparable, meaning like the neighborhood is just, if you were going to, I have to speak in those terms. I'm a licensed agent. I have to be very careful about fair housing. But like the neighborhood, like the median salaries are much lower than the median salaries in our neighborhood. And therefore, the properties are going to kind of align more that way. And so we felt that our property was undervalued by a good 20, $30,000 because they had to use data that at least gave them something. And man, I was mad. And then I learned something new yesterday. Even though we aligned on the 75% LTV requirement. Like the DSCR was good, like the ratio, the debt service coverage ratio for people who don't know what DSCR is. All of the things are good, but then the bank came back, the lender came back and said, no, we need at least $40,000 in equity. So even though 75 would be here, we have to give you slightly less LTV because we're not meeting enough of the margin required. I was like, "What? I've never known that to be something required." Because we're already above the amounts needed, right? Like, they wouldn't do a loan less than 55,000. Okay, well, this loan would be like we are trying to get 120. Now we're gonna get to 112.5, and now the most they'll give us is 110. I was like, "This is
mhm.
ridiculous." I hate DSCR loans. People, I am married, I sleep with my lender, my husband, and I still don't like him doing my loan. Like, I hate loans. I hate them. So annoying.
I love it. That's
What DSCRs are wild, wild west too. It's like they come up with their own rules like after the fact. It's like, what the hell? What? So
hmm.
annoying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like AI is gonna do it as well as you can do it, right? Like you
Mhm,
can get
mhm.
it to where it's as good as you can do it, but you're not perfect. You know what I mean? So
What?
sorry, Ingrid, you're perfect, but most
Okay.
people aren't perfect.
Yeah.
You know? Um, I can show a few things of the AI. I pulled up
Let's
some
do
stuff. I
it.
don't know if I can here, let's here,
I'm sure that
share
people are
screen.
clamoring. So you do the
Yeah,
presenting, and then I'm the one that authorizes
approves it.
to go up because yeah, we had Marlon Johnson on here. He had okay. I see it. Change the screen because I see our faces. There we go.
Okay. So I'll give like a little example. So I'll give some examples of like what it's doing in terms of like setting up the appointments, right? So this was an agent. It created the list and then it started communicating with it as you like. So that's what this is what we named. They can see my screen, right?
Yes, but make it a little bit bigger if you
Okay.
can. I like Mama's got older eyes, but it was yeah,
How about
okay.
that? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's like okay-ish.
Hold on. I'm trying to do
I
this
think
where it's they can do it
yeah.
there. Okay, this will be really this I'm because I'm trying to show you the text, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
highlights. Mhm,
so anyway, so it starts off like this is it aggregated the entire list. It then uploaded it, started off the campaign, right? Like, hey, my name is Claire. I'm hoping to connect with you, with an agent who covers the Sacramento area. Um, like, like, you know, like, thank you again for your time. Please reply sub to anytime, blah, 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 Jim, I'll buy it, right? Whatever, right?
mhm,
It's
mhm,
like, I cover Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties. I'm like, perfect. That lines up where we're looking, right? You can do this. This is like, this kind of means it's the AI. Do
mhm,
you usually work with investor buyers or more traditional clients? I love investors. Nice. That's what we like to hear. How often do you come across properties that need work or sellers open to a quick cash sale? All the time. I have a couple now. That's awesome. Would you be open to a quick intro call with my boss, Frank, so you two can connect, see if there's a fit? Sure, I am in a meeting, but I'll be available after 10 a.m. Great. Here are some open time slots, right? Anything. And today, and it's like, we have this. It's like, yes. You interested in that? blah, blah, blah. You're all set, right? Frank didn't call, or Frank did call eventually because
Mhm.
this is a human, right?
Mhm.
But they did all of that by itself, right? And that's just
Mhm.
one example. So like I pulled up that example. Here's another one, right? So I put up all the examples,
Mhm.
or not all of them, but some of them. Do, 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 do. Okay. And it's like, same thing. It's Claire. We'll cover this area, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And the good
hey,
news is that if they get cussed out, the AI's feelings aren't hurt.
yeah, exactly. There you go, right?
Mhm.
Hello, who is this? This is Claire with Geo Home Buyers. We work agents, blah, 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 right?
Right.
And then it's like, yes, I do, from Sacramento, Yuba County. Perfect. That's right in our zone, right? It's switching up the messages, right? I think you can tell that it's not exactly the same message. The first message is the same because it's a high level campaign, right? This is just like the first text message that's sent out always, right? If they wanted
Mhm.
to, they could switch that up as well. But
Right.
then it starts being like the AI itself,
Right.
doing
Where
it.
it's smart enough to apply a text answer that makes more
Yeah.
sense.
And just
Mhm.
figure out what they're going for, right?
Yeah.
I'm open to it. What's the catch? No catch, Malia. We're just like working with agents who spot deals early on and want to represent us with something that fits. You taking on new buyers? Yes. Nice. How often do you run into properties? Yada yada. They have a whole conversation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And is
and
it
so
only via text, or are you doing any voice AI?
we can do voice AI.
Mhm.
Our first client didn't even want it. So we can definitely have it where if you want it to call the person, it 100% can, right? Um,
Mhm.
our first client didn't even want that. So I was like, okay. Which is fine. Honestly, my VAs don't even call when they're setting up appointments. They usually just set up appointments via text. Um, but it did the same thing, set up like a time, set
Yeah.
it in his calendar,
Well,
book the appointment, and
let's
boom.
not completely pass this piece of the conversation up. Guys, like, I'm a real estate agent. All the Jonahs in the world are constantly calling me.
Yeah.
So much so that when I updated my iOS, it's like my programming of my iPhone, which I have an older iPhone, but it was like, "Hey, do you want to screen your calls now? So if somebody's not already in your phone, like it'll like basically screen my call." And for the most part, I don't answer them anymore. Like there was one thing I had to first of all, the reason I feel I've had a lot of success is because I answer my phone. Like
Yep.
that is a competitive advantage of mine. Like it is as simple as that, guys. Answer your freaking phone. Okay?
Yep.
But I also recognized that I was answering my phone too much to my detriment. So
Hmm.
that I was like, let me screen these first. And so I've stopped. I've stopped answering my um I've stopped answering my phone. And now it goes through a screening process before I'll even try to answer. Anyway, especially after you're doing refinances, everybody and their mom is also calling you because you're like, oh girl, you got good credit. Let me give you
Yeah.
so uh anyway, all to say is even when you're doing calling, it's always best to text first and say who you are so that these screening components allow the calls to come through in a much better process because it'll say maybe Claire is calling. And so if it gives me the maybe, it means that I've had an interaction with them somewhere and I'm more open to answering the call than if it's completely a cold call. So just I didn't want to pass through this nugget of information. Um, some of those people don't need to talk to me. All right, all right. Yeah, I agree. And that's why text botting is, I think, or text AIing, I think makes sense. I think it's probably the biggest bang for your buck versus voice AI.
Yeah. I mean, for lead generating, I just don't think it's necessary, right?
Mhm.
Like you
Mhm.
could. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Um, I it's not even about the AI for me. It's about what you just said. Even if it
Mhm.
was a VA doing this, it wouldn't make a difference, right? Um, so like whether it's AI or whether you were using a virtual assistant, I like texting more because of exactly what you just said. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, it doesn't even change.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, so that's like what it was programmed to do. It sets up. It's pretty darn good at dealing with situations, right?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and then
So when
I'll
you
just
get one of your bots, are you getting all 3 components of that bot?
what do you mean? All right, like the 3 functions I told you about? Or
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, the 3 functions.
So you're hiring an employee is how I describe it, right?
Right. Mhm.
So if you want a direct to agent lead generator, let's just say, right? You're getting it is going to just generate agents, right? Just in the same way as when you're hiring, you're usually not hiring for like one person isn't going to do several jobs usually. If you're an efficient business, it'll be one function. So it'll
Okay,
do
I'm gonna push
everything
back a little.
required.
I'm gonna push back a little, Jonah, because I'm a little rebellious like that. The
Sure.
only reason why I would argue to that is because when you're getting started, sometimes you have to multitask or hire to do more than one task because you haven't generated the type of income that allows you to run efficiently.
Yeah, and I would say this product probably wouldn't be for like I know who you're talking about. You're talking about somebody who maybe done a couple of deals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Doesn't really feel like they have reoccurring revenue.
yeah,
Honestly, like this could be sold to somebody who's newer. I think of it more as someone who's a little bit more developed, right? Who's already
okay,
making a ton of money and is
yeah,
like, I don't want to
efficient,
keep losing people, having to retrain them, having to recreate SOPs for, like in order to be able to retrain them. It's very expensive to rehire, right?
mhm,
It'll like cost you a lot of money over time,
totally,
especially.
yeah.
So this is for someone not, this isn't for like
How do
a
I get started?
newbie. Yeah,
Yeah,
like if you don't know how to do the job well, right? The AI is not going to know how to do the job well, right?
right,
So
mhm,
like like I'm mainly marketing this to more like experienced operators. I think newer people could use it as well, and I think it would help a lot of newer people out, but you just have to be very clear of like understanding what you need. And
mhm,
when you're newer, that's not necessarily true. Like I would like never sell this to someone who's never done a deal. If you've never done a deal, I would be like I'm not going to sell this to you
yeah,
because you have no idea what you even need anyways, right?
yeah.
Um
I love
so
first of all, guys, this is why I love Jonah. He's full of integrity, and the reality is a lot of let me get started people, like, all you really need is some good YouTube and, like, get going. I mean,
yeah,
Jonah has a lot of material on his YouTube channel, so make sure you're following him. But, literally, that's all you really need, and just get to work, I think
yeah,
we're in such a scenario now where people are just want the shortcuts, and I appreciate that, like, because especially with the advent of AI, we know things can work faster, stronger, but yeah, I love how clear you are that if you don't really understand how this game is played, uh, you have to be very careful about where you're investing your money. Because 'cause I've seen people where gosh, they're busy getting their CRM, their calling tool, their texting
yeah,
tool, they're pulling data, all of this stuff, and they've never even done a deal, and that's really where all their money goes.
yeah. Yeah, like I would I mean, it's also like what do I want? I don't want you buying this product and then you coming back to me a month later and being like, I actually hate this and I'm
Mhm,
giving you a
mhm,
1-star review, right? It's like
mhm.
how does that serve me?
Right.
Okay, I got some money out of you, but now everyone who looks at me, this is like it's like a whole thing that, and we can get into a different conversation. Um, Also just about reputation. Like I think Pace does this better than anybody else is like that reputation that someone like Pace or Jamil or us rely on is that like
Mhm.
when you do business with us, I yes, I want to make money, but like what's more important is that this actually makes sense for you. Whether
Right.
it's you're taking my cash offer, whether it's a creative offer,
Mhm.
whether you're going to be buying a product from me,
Mhm.
it always ends up being better if you're actually advising the person like they're your grandma, right?
Yeah. So would
Um,
you say because I know you have the CRM Simple Send, and
Mhm.
I believe you have some automations in there, not AI per
Yeah.
se, I guess. So
Yeah.
would the better place to start is Simple Send because
Absolutely.
it has the infrastructure to get you started, and then move into the AI
Yeah.
approach if you and we're not sharing the screen, let me know if you need me to share it now.
Oh, okay, hold on. Well, let me look at we
Oh,
don't need to share my screen for a moment.
okay.
Um, we'll just talk for a sec. But yeah, like no, so like I also have Simple Send, which is much more that was meant for someone who's never done a deal before, right? Like that's meant for someone who is a newbie, right? I don't know how you're doing deals without a CRM, honestly. Like if you've done a deal without a CRM, kudos to you. I don't know how you're doing it, right? I think having some sort of CRM, whether it's mine where like I've already built out the workflows, I've already built out everything you need for a direct to agent business, that is useful because then you don't have to build it out yourself. But like you got to have at least a basic podio, a free podio. Like you have to have something of an idea where are your leads, right? Otherwise, I don't know what business you're running. Um, so yeah, let's here, I can do like a quick demo of both. Like just that was
Yeah.
more or less the AI, right? That was like a little taste of it, obviously. There's gonna be much more YouTube videos being released of like the AI seeing it in action, right? That we were watching that kind of retrospectively of one part of it. But yeah, so yeah, I can also share my screen and show Simple Send real quick.
Okay.
Let me go. I'll just show people little things, right?
Yeah.
So hold
This
on, I'll
is
start
just like
sharing my.
AI for underwriting. The operator needs to know how to underwrite and simply use the AI as an employee. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Mhm.
because if you don't know how to underwrite, yes, underwriting is very similar across markets. It's super similar, but like there are little differences everywhere, right?
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
cost of lumber is not quite the same in California as it is in Arizona, right? Just
Right.
one small example, but like it's things are slightly different depending where you are, um, and different problems with real estate depending where you are. Um, so yeah, here, let me share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen again, and then I'll just
Yeah.
do a quick.
I'm grabbing my Simple Send affiliate link because I did sign up to be one of your
Oh,
affiliates.
nice.
I finished yesterday. I was like, guys, where's this link? I was talking to my team real quick. But anyway.
That's funny.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
So if you guys are interested in, we'll also put it in the show notes, but so
yeah.
far.
If anyone needs a CRM,
Mhm.
here, there's a ton of workflows, but I'll just show you guys some of the basic workflows, right?
Mhm.
Because really that's all that matters is I'll show like the most important workflows. There's a ton of
Wait,
workflows, right?
are
These
you
are
gonna oh, sorry, let me ask an obvious question, I feel like. Are you
sure.
going to integrate the AI into SimpleSend?
Anyone who wants to use Simple Send with the AI, amazing. But here's the thing: the AI is not. They are two separate companies,
Yeah.
right? So it
Mhm.
absolutely can integrate to Simple Send, right? But it's not like it's going to come with Simple Send, right? And the reason for that is because it is just a very expensive and tedious product to make really well, right? For your business. It's a very custom product, while Simple Send is not nearly as it's custom for the business, but it's not custom to your business as much, if that makes sense. Um, so because of that, it's not going to like come with it, but it is absolutely able to integrate with it. So like if you wanted to buy the AI and but you don't want Simple Send, no worries. If you want the Simple Send without the AI, also no worries, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah. So are you guys seeing my screen?
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, so I'll just show like a couple workflows, right? What a workflow is, guys, it's what you're basically, this is like machine learning, not machine learning. I don't even know what to call it, just workflows. This is like this is not AI, but people
No.
think it's AI because they think
Yeah.
everything that looks cool is AI or
Mhm.
that's automatic, right? This
Mhm.
is just programming, right?
Yeah.
Um, but basically, what this is, what you're seeing right now is more or less you would upload, let's say, a list of agents, right? And then you're gonna go to, I'll show it to you later, but you will basically start this workflow with those agents, right? And here's what it would do,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's gonna send a text, says something like, "Hey, this is blank. I came across your info. This is in my CRM, but it would say I'm looking to buy in whatever market you're in. Are you available for
Mhm.
a quick call today?" Right? Waits a day, sends another text. "Hey, just following up on my last message. Wanted to make sure it went through." Wait 2 days. "Hey, it seems like you don't want to help represent me and help me find a house. No worries. You just seem like an awesome realtor." Right? Um, and then wait 2 days. Um, and then
And
my
so
team,
this has logic in it that if they do respond, then it, like, moves them somewhere else, a different workflow?
correct. So if they do respond in the middle of this,
Mhm.
it stops, right? And then it stops this campaign. There's, if you, what would happen is for you, it would show up in your messages, right? So it stops the
Mhm.
campaign. You then will hopefully call them, right? Do an intro call with them, and then you would manually put it into another workflow. And there's a whole, it's really easy to figure out. It's not super hard, but then you would put it into another workflow.
Mhm.
Oh, that's just your follow-up workflow. And those are just the two that I'm going to show, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I got to zoom
Honestly,
out.
guys, people lose money not on the initial, like, "Hey, I do wanna do business with you or potentially do business with you."
Find it.
Most people lose their money on the follow-up. It's why people say the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yep. And that's why I think Simple Send is like specifically good, is because of this next workflow I'm going to show you, right? And it's nothing
Mhm.
complicated, right? It's nothing incredibly complicated. I'm just showing you, I'll show you what it is, right? So
Right.
basically, I'll zoom in again. What you do that intro call, right? Oh, come on. Now you don't
Mhm.
want to zoom in? Okay, I'm sorry if it's, oh wait, here we go. I got it. Okay. So basically, you're going to initiate this workflow, which is very easy to learn how to do it. It's just moving an opportunity. I don't
Mhm.
need, you can, we'll worry about that if you guys actually get it. It's really simple. Basically,
Mhm.
you do that intro call, it waits 14 days, and then it'll drop a remote voicemail. Right? You record that and you put it in there, and then it'll also send a text, right? It automatically knows their name, right? Waits another 14 days, does a follow up, another 14 days, follow up, different text messages every time, 14 days, and then text. It just another voicemail, right? Different voicemail than before. And you just keep going, right? I literally
Mhm.
have it where you follow up with this person for at least monthly, and voicemails, texts, everything, until either Jesus comes back or they stop or they tell you to stop, right? Because what happens is it does all this and then just starts from the beginning and restarts.
That's cool.
So that's, I think, the most powerful part of it, because, like, and I'll stop sharing now.
Mhm.
Let's think about it this way, right, guys? How are you going to, um, if you have 1,000 agents, how are you realistically going to remember to follow up with all of them? That's like not possible, right?
No.
Maybe it's possible with 20 or maybe even
Mhm.
50. But like the
Mhm.
reason why, like, my wholesaling company is able to, that workflow I showed you is the reason that I'm able to make money. And
Right.
I've made like 2 or 3 million in my 5 years of doing this, right? Is because I have a system that like constantly follows up, and not having that system is impossible if you actually want to do like a ton of deals, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
importance of having a CRM. And yeah, Simple Send is definitely the product that I would recommend if you've never done a deal before, because that'll get you to your first deal, right?
Mhm,
The
mhm.
AI bot is like you're much more experienced. You just want someone to implement AI for you, or you want to start hiring. Either you want to
Mhm.
start hiring and you know exactly what you want to hire for, right? And you just need someone who's going to do a certain task, right? Because like your one of your most recent hires was an executive assistant, right,
Right.
Ingrid?
Mhm.
That is much more complicated for AI to do because it's not the same thing every single day. It's very
Right.
different every single day. That
Yeah.
should be done by a human right now, right?
Right. Mhm.
That was
I
also
know
my first
so
hire.
I have a friend, Urania, who actually was paying attention to this, uh, Urania and Adrian, who are in Owners Club, and, they're coming up with a bot that helps with EA, and so I was like, "Look, Imma hire a real EA because I need to know, like, what does that look like?" It uses the same philosophy. It's like, let me hire an EA, understand, like, what that person really should do, and then I can understand whether an AI person or AI bot is doing it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Like like
Amelia sorry. Amelia, the CRM is called Simple Send, and then my
yeah,
affiliate link for it is in the chat in
click
case,
that.
mhm.
You're gonna it's yeah, click just use the link and you'll get there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
I'm sorry, and I cut you off, my
no,
bad.
I forgot what I was talking about exactly. But either way, like the AI bot, like
Mhm.
it is if you're here's who I would say should buy that, right?
Mhm.
If you need one of those roles in your company,
Mhm.
it's a good thing, but you also have to know that you need that role. So you
Mhm.
should be doing minimum 1 to 2 deals a month, I would say. You should have consistent revenue that you would use in order to hire a VA at this point. That could be a good person for it. Or an experienced operator is even better who just is like, I just want to cut on costs, right? Like, I don't
Right.
want to, every time I hire VA, I got to train them, I got to hire them. Then they're going to eventually leave probably at some point, and then I have to
Mhm.
rehire again. And I'd rather just not do that. I'd rather have AI do it forever and work all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So yeah, those are like I would say like those are like the two profiles for the AI bot. Um, and then Simple Send should just be it's meant for a solopreneur. It's meant for someone who's just getting started. So if you haven't done a deal, that's more the product, and it's way cheaper,
Yeah.
like way cheaper than the AI bot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
See there.
that's all the cool tech I've been creating, and glad we got to do a little demo of it
Yeah.
slightly.
Yeah.
Um,
Luke says, "If you just get to 500 agents in the follow-up, I almost guarantee you'll close 1 deal a month." Mhm. Unless you're just
No,
bad.
it
Yeah,
honestly,
totally.
even if you're bad, you will close a deal a month.
Yeah.
Like, that's the great thing. Like, no, that's the
Yeah.
great thing. I mean, Hormozy talks about this. Volume negates luck and
I
skill,
say that all the
right?
time. I said, "That is what makes wholesaling so great, but also so bad, is that really it's all about volume. It's a math equation." I did somebody's, podcast recently. I go, "Honestly, the worse you are, the more math you're gonna have to do, like, more volume, but you will close deals, and if you know yourself enough to know, like, okay, for me, for example, I can probably close at a higher rate, a higher conversion than other people because I have the experience and I'm good at it. But if I wasn't good at it, it just means I need more reps.
Right.
It's just a math problem.
Yeah.
And then because my skills don't meet the math I'm looking for yet.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's any business, honestly. It's
Mhm,
wholesaling, but it's any sales ever is that, right?
mhm, mhm.
So, but like the thing is, you need a system that's following up automatically for you. If you don't
Yeah,
have that, then it's a nightmare because now you're having to
totally.
do it with like I don't know, a pen and paper. I don't know how people
Well,
would be
and back
doing.
to that reputation piece where it's like if you're trying to uphold a good reputation, like creating efficiencies in your follow-up is how you make sure your reputation does not get tainted.
Right.
So, mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
Jonah,
So
this has been so amazing. I hope
I can't believe
everybody
we're at the end of it. That was too
I
quick.
know, right? Okay. I know sometimes I'm like, maybe I should make this an hour and a half because I like to be very involved in the conversation, especially when it's something like this, especially when it's I feel like when people are super expert at what they're talking about, like, if you guys ever wondered, like, were they really truly an expert? The time flies when it happens that way, like, truly, and I feel like this is what it is, and I commend you, Jonah, because, you for me, you are the DTA, like, direct to agent guy, and, I feel like I learned so much from you through all the Sub-2 stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I" because when I first started, I was calling sellers directly, and boy, was that tough, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Like,
So much
I'm an
harder.
agent. Yeah, I would argue sometimes it's easier if you're already an agent to do a DTA model because you're on their same credibility path. So anyways, thank you so much for bringing so much value to our mentorship community and also to our audiences. This is so amazing. Make sure you guys are following Jonah. So where's the best place
Yeah,
to
so real quick, so like obviously use if you want to ever reach out to me, the best place is always Instagram. It's just my name, right? Like if you
Mhm,
took my name, put an at symbol in front of it, you'll find me, right? I have the
mhm,
little verified blue check mark. Just DM me if you have any questions, right? Like if you were interested in the AI bot, DM me. I don't even have a link yet for it. So if that was
mhm,
intriguing you, just DM me on that, right? Use Ingryd's link that she's been posting in here for Simple Send. But if you just have questions or like you don't want to, you're like just curious about wholesaling or
mhm,
flipping or real estate or just like whatever, right? Or you have questions about just how to do it. I answer my DMs all the time and I'm just answering people's questions, right? I do
mhm.
that for free because I love it, right?
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, it's just
Yeah,
great. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't like if you want me to mentor you, I just DM me, right? I'm not gonna meet with you on a Zoom, but I will answer Instagram DMs and like send you
yeah,
voice messages, right?
yeah.
Because I have time to do that.
That's the key. I'll voice message. I think the tough part is when people voice message me back and they're not fast talkers, and I'm like, "Oh, no. I gotta 2x this."
The only
Like,
yeah, exactly. Like I
I
mean,
can
it
read faster than I don't know, for whatever reason, I'd rather read through what you're saying versus listen through
I forget,
forgive
does
me.
Instagram have a transcript or no? I don't remember. Like I like I'm blanking right now. Anyways, when there's a transcript, I just read that.
Yeah, yeah. When
And I
somebody
know.
voice messages my phone, I transcript it
Yeah.
too.
So
Super.
but yeah, no, I'm here to help as much as possible. Feel free to follow me if you want like content on this type of stuff too.
Mhm,
But yeah, Instagram, my YouTube name also is that if you want like tutorials, like how do I comp? Or how do I create a bot that comps? That's like Luke has been like begging me, being like, dude, when are you releasing that video? Because I want to do that. And I'm like, that will get released soon. So if you want tutorials on like how to do stuff, especially AI stuff in real estate, right?
mhm.
That's gonna be like a shift for my channel where it's gonna be less real estate, more AI for real estate. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, I'm here to help in whatever way possible. And Ingrid, I always appreciate you having me on. I mean, you're a good friend. Like I still remember meeting you at the Sub-2 Mastermind, what, 4 years ago, I guess, like 2022. That was a like
December of 2021. Mhm,
2021. So like, yeah, I mean, look at how far we've come just from
mhm,
that, you know?
mhm.
So no, I appreciate you as a friend, uh, you know, and yeah, I'm always happy to come on here.
Alright, and ladies, Jonah's single.
I am
Just saying.
single. It is happening.
It's
I
a
am
true
going
good
on
friend,
dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bandini, I think you're on my Facebook. The link for his CRM is in my Facebook page.
And my name is Jonah Korchin. I don't know. I'm curious if she can see uh your comments or not. But
Yeah, she's on Facebook. She should be able to see. If not,
okay.
yeah, mhm. Jonah
Okay.
Korchin on there. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Jonah. I really appreciate you. I'm sure we're gonna have you on. I would love to know how this AI like they said, the 2000 internet boom, made a lot of millionaires. It also
Yeah.
bankrupt a lot of them. I'm really curious, and supposedly
You're
AI is
really
the
curious. Am I gonna be bankrupt or am I gonna be a multimillionaire? We're gonna see the story, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the difference between AI is that you don't have the COGS, right? Cost of
Right.
goods. not to the same extent. And
Yeah.
your cogs are like CPUs and data space, right?
Yeah.
So that there is a cost to that, but the cost I think will make sense based on your clients coming on.
It's
So,
minimal.
mhm.
It's super
So,
minimal. Yeah.
right, I'm not selling, coffee cups on the internet for the first time in 2001 and having to buy like all the product for that as
Yeah.
an example. So, yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Jonah. And thank you everybody for being on the podcast. Again, go follow Jonah on Instagram. It's at JONAHKORCHIN on Instagram. I'm spelling it out because I know we're going to start actually streaming these YouTube podcasts onto podcast platforms like Spotify and whatnot. That's my next upcoming thing to do.
Nice.
But we are here every week, guys, every week, Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Arizona time. That's 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. I really appreciate you guys coming on here, and we will catch you guys next week. See ya.
Peace.